2,000 plus has come to see a pair of teams fighting for the playoffs. The Green Bay Packers and the Houston Oilers.
1, 2, 3, 4. Favre and Sharpe attack. The pack is back. Favre and Sharpe attack. The pack is back.
I think they get an understanding of what type player they're going up against. A guy who, you know, for 3 or 4 seconds is a guy you really don't want to face.
He's a great competitor, for starters. He really has a great field presence. He understands the game. He doesn't get rattled. He keeps his cool.
I'm never going to give up. And the guys, they feed off of that. And I'll do anything it takes to win. And to me, that's the biggest asset you can have.
Favre and Sharpe attack. The pack is back. Favre and Sharpe attack. The pack is back.
Today's upsets have added tremendous drama to the playoff picture. Green Bay can close to within a game of the Vikings in the NFC Central with a win tonight. And they play Minnesota in the final game of the year. Even if they don't win the division, they have wild card hopes. In the AFC Central, the Oilers are almost in as a wild card, but now they have a shot at the division if the Steelers do the unthinkable and lose their last two. If it ends in a tie, Pittsburgh has the tiebreaker. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann with you from the Astrodome. Rookie head coach Mike Holmgren has done one of the best coaching jobs in the NFL. After a 2-5 start, the Packers have won 5 of their last 6, including 4 in a row. And Joe, for the first time since 1982, they have a shot at the playoffs.
Mike, you know, the big reason for the resurgence has been largely because of the play of 2 guys. One a bona fide star and the other an emerging star. Sterling Sharpe has averaged 70 catches a year over the last 4 seasons, and his 88 this year have him on a pace to break Art Monk's 106. He truly is Green Bay's big play guy, and he really makes things happen once he gets his hands on the ball. He's a total package, big, strong, tough, and fast enough. Now, Brett Favre is the 4th-rated quarterback in the league, but the numbers don't quite tell the total story of how impressive he's been. Of the 8 interceptions, 5 came in 2 games. I mean, he's quickly earned the respect of a lot of coaches around the league. Jack Pardee says Favre reminds him of Marino. Jim Eddy, the Oilers' defensive coordinator, says he looks like Montana. But what I love about the kid is he's tough, and that carries over to his ball club.
You know, a lot of people thought the Oilers would be better than 8-5 at this point, but as Jack Pardee put it, every game has been a struggle for them. Tonight, they will not have offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride. He underwent successful cancer surgery this week. How is that going to affect the run and shoot?
Well, without Kevin, the play-calling duties go to Chris Palmer, the wide receiver coach, who will be upstairs in the booth. Now, he'll send the plays down onto the field to coach Warren Moon on the sidelines, who will then signal them in to Cody Carlson on the field. Ultimately, though, the load falls on Cody's shoulders. This is his 4th consecutive start. And Green Bay will throw a lot of different defensive looks at him. But the key to the game for the Oilers is not what Cody does with his arm, but what he does with his head. Tonight, deciding things like run or pass become paramount.
There is a playoff atmosphere here at the Astrodome in Houston. 62,000 plus, hoping their Oilers can go to 9-5. Chris Jackie to kick it off. Pat Coleman, 87. Spencer Tillman, 32. Wait at the goal line. Huge game for both ball clubs. Coleman at the 6. And racked up shy of the 20. There's a flag down. And the Packers, the 4th best kick coverage team in the NFL, did the job again. Referee tonight, Ed Hockley. And the Packers were offside on the kickoff.
How often do you see that call? I'll bet you if you polled every kickoff team.
Offsides on the kickoff by the kickoff team, number 21. 5-yard penalty or re-kick.
I bet you if you polled and took a look at a lot of different kickoff teams, you would find that a lot of guys are just an inch or so far ahead.
Special teams coach for the Oilers, Richard Smith, exhorting his troops. Carl Carter was the guilty party for the Packers. And Nolan Cromwell is the special teams coach, the longtime star in the secondary with the Los Angeles Rams. They have changed the way they want Jackie to kick off. They want him to kick the ball high and kick it into a corner and limit the returns.
Well, it supposedly kicks to the third of a field. You can kick down the middle, you can kick right of the hash or left of the hash. That puts a lot of pressure on the guys running from the offside. So they have to try and get way down to get to a contained position.
Jackie will do it again. Tillman fumbled the ball to 4, and he's out of bounds. A major mistake by Tillman, who forgot where he was.
If he lets this bounce, there's a real good chance it goes out of bounds. Look at his left foot. Look, watch his left foot. See it? He doesn't really have possession, but he still touches the ball, so he's still out of bounds. Now they mark it at the 4.
So Houston starts in a real hole. And Cody Carlson brings them out.
Oilers will start on their home.
Lorenzo White, the single setback. The 1,000-yard rusher. Carlson throws sideline to Givens, complete. Roland Mitchell took him out of bounds. Let's take a look at that Houston offense. Carlson has taken over for the injured Warren Moon, completing nearly 70% of his passes. Against Detroit, he was the conference player of the week. Haywood Jeffrey started in the Pro Bowl last year. Now he has a chance to become the first player with back-to-back 100-catch seasons. Up front, Bruce Matthews, a Pro Bowler at center. After an all-star career at guard, he has tremendous versatility. And overall, this is a very good offensive line. That's Chris Palmer, the acting offensive coordinator, and coach Warren Moon for at least 2 more weeks. Carlson under pressure, and he's sacked. Bryce Pop, number 95, gets his 6th sack of the season, make him 6.5 for the year.
Left side of your screen, the Packers only rushed 3. Excellent job. They drop 8 into coverage. Cody Carlson just doesn't have enough time to unload it. Ray Rhodes right in the middle. There's Coach Ray with the towel over him. He does sweat a little bit. New experience for him being up in the booth.
3rd and 4. Quick out complete to Jeffries at the 15-yard line. He has just enough for the first down. Vinnie Clark on the stop. You can't stop that. For the Packers on defense, they're playing much better during the streak after a slow start. Matt Brock leads the down lineman with 4 sacks. Tony Bennett was the NFC's Defensive Player of the Month for November. 12.5 sacks. That's number 5 in the league. And Terrell Buckley gives them great speed in the secondary. He was their number 1 draft choice out of Florida State. Tony Bennett, because he has played for a losing team and in a market that is not normally on national television, does not get as much publicity as he richly deserves. White for the first try. Lorenzo White about 5 near the 20.
You know, Mike, 1990 when the run and shoot really came in, you look at the average catch on the wide receivers, it's like 16, 17 yards. Defense has decided they don't want to give up the big plays anymore, so they've really turned the run and shoot into a dink and dunk offense. As we watch Warren Moon, he's even got a little cheat sheet. He's got to check and see what he signaled in. He says, wait a second, did I signal that in? Let me see what I have here.
And Warren Moon was one of the first guys to admit that that kind of defense was frustrating to him. White again. Near another first down at the 24. George Kuntz was in there along with Johnny Holland. Lorenzo White over 1,000 yards this time. Mike Rozier, the last 1,000-yard rusher in 1988 for the Houston Oilers.
When I talked to Lorenzo, you know, it really is amazing. He said the one big difference in him this year is he's learned to be patient. He doesn't get to the line as much. He gives the opportunity for the line to create holes.
This is the number 3 offense in the NFL. White trying to get the first down. The ball lands squarely on the 25-yard line. That should be just enough. Johnny Holland, the leading tackler, again with a stop. Can't say enough about Cody Carlson, the way he has come off the bench and played in relief of Warren Moon. If he does not play well, they could already be out of the playoffs.
67% passing for not having an opportunity to work a lot.
Opening possession of the ball game from the Astrodome. White straight up the middle. Holland makes the tackle, but it's a gain of 7.
It surprises me a little bit that the Oilers are having the success they are moving the football, because Green Bay played Detroit last week, which is a run and shoot football team. So they get them back to back. And as far as film study goes, defensively, it gives them a little bit more of an advantage to see a similar type of formation, although the plays are a little bit different from a preparation standpoint. And the 2 of the 3 teams that run any style of the run and shoot, they get them back to back.
One thing that hurts them, they lost Leroy Butler in the secondary. In the last place you want to lose a guy in the secondary is against the run and shoot when you have to use so many DBs. Carlson with time. Jeffries won a catch. Now they say it's incomplete. Couldn't hold it as he came down at the 32. Vinnie Clark in coverage. There's a penalty marker down. And it will go against the Oilers.
Johnny Holland acting as the captain on the field after he gets the signal from Mike Holmgren.
Illegal motion on the offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Vinnie Clark up against Haywood Jeffries. Just his little shake of the shoulder is what did it. He was the one who was in motion. Now, this ball's thrown outside. He likes to do it. He likes to get his hands out away from his body to try and make reception.
2nd and 8 after the penalty. Comes the blitz. Carlson unloads to White on the screen. Midfield and to the Packer 48-yard line where Carl Carter made the tackle. Couldn't ask for a better call against the blitz.
Absolutely. And if you can free up the only back you have back there and he doesn't have pickup responsibility, they rush 6. You see Lorenzo slide out to the left side of your screen. Now he's got a convoy in front of him, and that's a big convoy. They're knocking people all over. Cuts back across the field. Mike Munchak, number 63, picks up Bennett. That helps free Cody to slide to the right to make the completion for the big game.
Munchak, a 7-time Pro Bowler. He's been playing this year with a bad back. And now Gary Brown, number 33, checks in to give White a breather. And Carlson sees something he doesn't like. Wants a timeout with 9:08 to go first quarter. Scoreless game from the Astrodome. Joined in that message to Kevin Gilbride, the Houston offensive coordinator who underwent successful cancer surgery this week here in Houston. Had a kidney and part of a rib removed. He hopes to be back within 3 weeks.
If knowing Kevin, he will. Get well soon, pal.
1st and 10 Oilers in Packer territory. Carlson for Jeffries, and it's broken up. Tim Hawk and Vinnie Clark in a double team.
This is a 4-1-6 defense by the Green Bay Packers. They employ 4 linemen, 1 linebacker, and there are your 6 DBs right here. Now this ball's going to go up top. Hawk does a nice job. Reads Cody's eyes, breaks on the ball. Haywood trying to make a play on it. Both of them get there.
May have gotten there a little early.
Well, you see, he's making a play on the ball.
Right.
That's okay. You know, that's incidental contact when you're trying to make a play on the ball.
2nd and 10, 9:02 to go opening period. Lorenzo White caught from behind and dropped. Matt Brock. Nice play from his left defensive end spot. 4-year veteran out of Oregon.
Ray Rhodes told us yesterday, he said, we are going to be aggressive on defense. So far, he's employed a 3-down line, 4-down line, blitzing inside linebackers, bringing 5 people, dropping 8. He's changing it up constantly for Cody Carlson.
th play of this drive coming up. 6.5 minutes off the first quarter clock already. Carlson deep again. Overthrows Jeffries this time, and once again, Hawk and Clark had him sandwiched.
He's getting the one-on-one matchups against Vinnie Clark. That's what you look for as far as a quarterback goes. And Cody Carlson is a little bit different than Warren Moon. Cody will try and push the ball up the field. This is just a straight go. They want Haywood to try and outrun Vinnie. Good coverage. Ball was put away. Good decision by the quarterback.
The injured player is Bryce Popp. Yeah, he's been very effective in the pass rush.
Goes down. David Williams uses the old leg whip.
Caught him right on the knee. And Popp up running off. Greg Montgomery, who leads the National Football League with that 45-7 average. And Robert Brooks back to take the punt. Where is Terrell Buckley, you ask? He is on the bench because of fumbling problems.
And during warm-ups, he was still having fumbling problems. He was still letting the ball get through his hands.
Of course, when we talked to him the other night, he knew we were going to talk about the fumbles and really didn't want us to. But we'll talk about the good things, too. Montgomery, beautiful kick. And it makes the end zone, just. 52 yards, no return, and the Packers will start from the 20. 1 left in the period. The first receiver ever to reach the rare mark of 100 receptions was Lionel Taylor in 1961. 3 years later, Charlie Hennigan of the Oilers had 101. In 1984, Art Monk, new heights, 106, the current NFL record. In the last 2 years, Jerry Rice and Haywood Jeffries hit the 100 barrier straight on. And this year, if Sterling Sharpe can maintain his near 7-catch-a-game average, he will reign supreme with the new NFL record of 108 receptions.
The Sharpe blimp. Another blimp to the air. What a year he is having.
Unbelievable. Harry Sidney and Darrell Thompson with a split back behind Favre.
Young guy, you ought to go up top early. Just let him try.
Play action, pump fake, and the bomb. Intended for Lewis and overthrown. Lewis covered like a blanket by Jerry Gray and Marcus Robertson. Take a look at the Green Bay offense. Favre has taken over as the starting quarterback. He has been terrific. Rated 4th in the NFL coming off his first 3-touchdown game. Sharpe has a chance at one of the NFL's most coveted records and the national recognition that he deserves. Tootie Robbins was an excellent trade for the Pack. The 11-year veteran has given him a lot of stability up front.
There's Sherm Lewis, the offensive coordinator who came with Mike Holmgren over from San Francisco.
Favre on the run, throws incomplete to Jackie Harris, the tight end. On defense, Ray Childress having a marvelous year. Leads the team in sacks, second in tackles. That is remarkable for an interior lineman. Al Smith on the verge of 100 tackles for the 4th year in a row. He was a Pro Bowl starter last season. So was Chris Dishman, but he has only 2 interceptions in 1992. The numbers are down, maybe because he had a contract holdout at the beginning of the year. And there's one of the most entertaining people to watch on the sideline, Jim Eddy, the Oilers defensive coordinator, who puts his heart and soul into every expression. 3rd and 10. And he has created a great defense here. Favre has the first down. Caught from behind by Fuller and Eddie Robinson.
This is unbelievable. Did you see at the end who was there to help pick him up? 2 offensive linemen went up to check on him. Good job by the Oilers. Childress coming in inside. Gets pressure on the outside. This is what he sees. You see what he sees. Everybody's covered. Put the ball away and look out from behind. William Fuller's closing on you.
Good hustle by Fuller to peel back. Spotted outside the 31. Houston with an impressive opening drive. Took a lot of time off the clock. Came up empty. Thompson gets his first carry of the game. Gang tackled Eddie Robinson, the rookie out of Alabama State, the first man to get a hold of the jersey.
Some coaches in the National Football League will script plays. Mike Holmgren scripts the first 15, and he does it for specific reasons. You see him sending it in. First of all, he said it takes a lot of pressure off the play caller, which is him in this case, being able to think it out in his office. Secondly, he gives the 15 plays to his ball club so they can think about it. And he said the third thing is that the team really knows how to react to different situations because they've thought about what they're trying to go up against.
2nd and 9. Favre with a short set to Edgar Bennett in the flat. And Bennett trying to get to the sticks. Bubba McDowell took his legs out from under him. Packers, of course, if they look familiar to the San Francisco offense, it's because it is the San Francisco offense and basically the San Francisco defense as well.
And Brett Favre, Mike Holmgren has said that Brett Favre, he's young, but he has so many wonderful qualities. Quick release, quick feet, good student of the game, which is something he's had to learn coming to Green Bay.
Packers are the best in the NFL in this situation. Keep it on the ground. Harry Sidney, the former 49er, has the first down out to the 43-yard line. Al Smith, the first man on the tackle. And Ray Childress shaken up. Couldn't have worse news for the Houston Oilers, who have been racked by injuries. They had 3 holdouts at the beginning of the season, and they lost their left linebacker, Lamar Lathan. They lost their starting free safety, Bo Orlando, and they lost their starting right tackle, Doug Smith. There's Lathan. Smith and Lathan should be back for Buffalo in 2 weeks, which would be a big boost. Thompson. He stood up by Montgomery, who's in there for Childress. This is the best defense in the AFC, 4th overall in the NFL. And really, Joe, the kind of defense for the Houston Oilers that could play an NFC team in a Super Bowl and have a shot.
And it's the kind of defense that Jim Eddy has to have playing at this time of the year, too. They're playing aggressive football. They're starting to make big plays. That's what they've been missing. They've done a good job, but they haven't been able to make the big plays.
2nd and 7. Packers with their opening possession. Favre with time. Complete. That'll be another first down. And it was Thompson out of the backfield with Al Smith on his back.
That's a great catch. If you're a quarterback, you have to make catches. You put the ball in places where only your guy can make the catch. He'll cross from the left side. He comes right across the back. Al Smith almost tackles him, loses sight of the ball. Just incredible. Al Smith literally tackled. He's got him all wrapped up before he ever catches it. Great concentration by Thompson.
And that is only his 5th reception of the season. He started last week for the first time, been bothered by quad and ankle injuries all year. Thompson can't get around the corner. It was Rick Graff, the outside linebacker, who's playing in place of Lathan, that messed up the timing and got the first hit. Then Bubba McDowell made the tackle.
Rick Graff coming over from Miami as a Plan B acquisition in '91, 6 years in the league. He's taller than most of the linebackers on that Oiler defense. He's 6'5", but still carries 250 pounds with him.
And Graff will leave the field on 2nd and 12. And Lathan, an emerging superstar at linebacker, has been out with a broken bone in his leg. As we said, he should be back for Buffalo. And Ray Childress back in the lineup. Thompson, the single setback on 2nd and 12. They go with a reverse. Down to the 41-yard line, and it's rookie Corey Harris out of Vanderbilt, who has been terrific on special teams for them. Mike Dumas, number 38, made the stop.
When you get a defense that's fired up and chasing the ball, you run misdirections. They run it inside tight. You see, look at how the Oilers all converge. Now, the guy that's chasing him is Jerry Gray. He knows he's running over there because they're in man-to-man coverage, but he's got a lot of traffic to go through and gets caught up in the wash.
Gain of 7 on that play. 3rd and 5 coming up. The Packers with their own impressive drive. Already 5.5 minutes off the clock. Only 1:44 left to go in the quarter. 4-man rush. Favre throws, incomplete, sideline. Childress in his face.
I really think the biggest difference in the defense of the Houston Oilers is the pressure they can get up front with 4 men.
Yes.
It allows Jim Eddy to put combination coverages in the secondary and utilize his linebackers in run-stopping positions. But those 4 guys come off the ball and in their own right create havoc in an offensive backfield.
Webster Slaughter, who has pumped up the return game since being acquired from Cleveland, waiting on Brian Wagner's punt. Oilers got close. Wagner nearly killing it, but couldn't quite stop it. A 41-yard punt, no return. And we have a 0-0 score with 1:25 first period from the Astrodome in Houston. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann with you. Glad you could join us on our Sunday night telecast. And the Oilers will take over at their own 22nd possession. Both teams have had the ball 1 time. Long drives, no points. Carlson with time. That one was tipped over the middle. Johnny Holland, the linebacker, got a hand up on it.
Cody Carlson getting his plays. There's Mojo, equipment guy with Warren Moon. What he's doing is he is explaining to him how the headset controls work. I mean, this is a whole new world for Warren. And, you know, the other thing is, there he is, the first $4 million coach in the history of professional. You don't think the coaches out there are excited to know? Actually, he wants the $80,000 that Kevin makes. So he's going to be $4,080,000 coach.
Warren signed a new contract this week. An odd time to sign one. We'll get into more of that later. White flips the tackle. Johnny Holland makes the stop as he gets up to the 27-yard line. Holland approaching a career high in tackles. Hope you'll be with us next Sunday at noon Eastern. The Emmy Award-winning Game Day comes your way at noon. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, Chris Mortensen, and Joe Theismann and a cast of thousands provide the best pregame show in the NFL. Then back at 7 o'clock with NFL primetime highlights and analysis of all the day's games. And then at 8 o'clock, Joe and I will be at Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami as the Jets take on the Dolphins. And Johnny Holland is the player shaken up. He's got connections with Houston, having played at Texas A&M, played his college ball in the state. He supports a homeless shelter outside of Houston. And a lot of players on both of these ball clubs very involved in various charitable activities.
Now, this is part of the movement and the transition that they've had on that Green Bay defense. He was moved to the nickel back after the 3rd week of the season. I mean, the first 4 weeks of the season, this defense was ranked dead last in the National Football League.
They were getting killed.
But with a little bit of tinkering, a little bit of movement by Ray Rhodes, he's starting to find combinations that work.
And Holland leads the team with 3 interceptions. 3rd and 3 for the Oilers. Carlson to Duncan. And he's got the first down, just struggles across the 30. Terrell Buckley made the tackle. Duncan struggling a little bit as he got up.
With all the catches Curtis Duncan has, 69, now 70 catches, he has 0 touchdowns. 0. Mark him down. Nothing.
He would love to get one, and the Oilers are not going to bother to run another play as the first quarter clock is ticking down. And that will be the end of the first quarter from the Astrodome. The Oilers and the Packers fighting for the playoff. It's 0-0. Packers in the center of your picture, having to make do without his starting strong safety, Leroy Butler. And this is why. Last week against the Lions, number 36, with the cheap shot to the head of Andre Ware. And that got him a 1-game suspension without pay from the NFL. And it should have. There's going to be a lot more emphasis on cheap shots with the recent injuries in this league. 1st and 10 Oilers. White. What a job by Tony Bennett. Played off the block and made the tackle for a loss.
You mentioned something earlier, Mike, I think which was so true. Here's a guy who plays in a market that doesn't get a lot of recognition, but he's certainly a Pro Bowler. Watch this. He's out here right out there in the 3-down position. He just comes across. Protects against the trap. Does a nice job of playing it off. Low White didn't help a whole lot by trying to go outside, but still Bennett with a nice play.
Lost 8 on the play. So it's 2nd and 18.
See, that should be like a sack.
Yes.
That should be like a sack.
Carlson dumps it to White. White breaks the tackle. Driving the legs up to the 35-yard line. Roland Mitchell hanging on. It's a gain of 12. And White, in addition to that 1,000 yards, rushing has caught 45 passes.
And that's a big thing. What they do in practice is every time they run a pass play to a wide receiver, one of the quarterbacks who's not working the drill will throw the ball to Lorenzo White. So every pass that's thrown in practice, he catches the ball. And they've done that in training camp. Frank Novak, the running back coach right there. What a great idea that is to keep his hands warm. Just keep him getting used to catching the ball.
3rd and 6 for the Oilers. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. Pass incomplete, intended for Webster Slaughter. Good coverage again by Carl Carter. Just too far for the former Cleveland Brown to pick it off.
Ray Rhodes doing a lot of mixing up with that secondary and with the linebackers for that Green Bay defense. Bring 1, drop 1, bring 3, drop 8.
Montgomery, who bombed his first one for 52 yards to kick to Robert Brooks. Rookie averaging 11 yards a return. Fair catch on this one and makes it at the 22. Punt of 43, no return. We are still scoreless at the Astrodome in Houston. We started our telecast by saying Sterling Sharpe has a shot at Art Monk's record. They haven't thrown a ball to him in the first quarter.
Yeah, but he starts slow. I mean, just because 1 quarter goes by and he doesn't get the ball doesn't mean that much. Take a look at the receptions by quarters. 26 thrown to, only 14 received. He has 54 there, but look, he goes up into the 70% after that. That's the whole thing. And now they got to start worrying about it.
Well, obviously, they will need his talents if they hope to win this ball game. 6 100-yard games this year, number 1 in the NFL. Just had a brilliant campaign. Thompson on the delay. Slips through a couple of tackles. and scurries his way out to about the 28-yard line. Both of these clubs need this game badly. The Packers actually worse than the Oilers. And we have a 0-0 tie with 12:53 to go first half. Joe, both teams have been able to move the ball. They just can't get close enough for a field goal or get the big play for a score.
And it's not the inability of the offenses. I think there's a great job being done by both coaches. Mike Holmgren's offense has been able to move the ball fairly well, but Houston has been to the task in stopping them, as well as Jack Pardee offense.
Favre with a short set. Flag is down. Favre throws incomplete, threw it into a crowd. That was the closest Sharpe has had to a catch.
They're going to get a 5-yard incidental face mask on Brett Favre. It happened to Brett. It's going to be on Ray Childress in all likelihood, number 79. That could be one of the defensive linemen. That's what they're trying to decide, whose number they're going to call.
Face mask on the defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
And that is Fuller. Said, I didn't grab it, I just touched it.
Look at the rush up front. Watch these guys. It's going to be all bull rushes because Favre takes such a short drop. These are just bull rushes. This is take the guy ahead of you and try and push him back into the quarterback's face. And then everybody grab his face mask. Childress did grab it. See, I was right. He did get it. So they shared a face mask. Each of them get 2.5 yards.
First and 10 Packers from their 33. Favre another 3-step drop, now in trouble. And he'll get out of bounds just in front of Bubba McDowell.
Yeah, that was a good decision, too. He was going to try the old John Elway, put a move on him. Not going to happen.
William Fuller chased him out of the pocket.
The entire Green Bay offense is based on timing. Quick sets. You see Sharpe make his break. Good job by Chris Dishman closing on him. There it is. He wants to go right now. He's covered. Now he's got nowhere to go. Does a good, smart thing, pulls it down, heads out of bounds. Don't get cute over there.
Well, you could also see that Favre doesn't hang around. If a man isn't open, he looks for the second option. If the second option isn't there, it's see you later. Thompson and Sidney, the split backs on 2nd and 8. Sidney couldn't get it. Favre wide at the 35.
Harry Sidney finally getting a chance to function as a starter. Was talking to him on the field. He's thrilled to be here in Green Bay. And he backed up Tom Rathman in San Francisco, who's just a great fullback. And it wasn't for any other reason other than the fact that Tom played so well, so consistently. Harry never had a chance. Now he's the guy. He's the guy that knows this system as well. He's a leader on his ball club.
And a guy who wants to play. He played in the World League. He played in the Canadian Football League. He has just hung around till he got his chance. 3rd and 8 for the Pack. Underneath, drop. Sanjay Beach. Right through his hands into his body.
I personally think Brett Favre is still a little bit keyed up. Now, this is their first night game. Mike Holmgren told us that was one of the things he was concerned about. He said, this thing's going everywhere. He said, the state of Mississippi will be watching. My family's here. The state of Wisconsin will be watching. He's going to have to settle down just a little bit more.
This kid's going to be a heck of a quarterback in time. In fact, he's a heck of a quarterback right now. Fourth in the NFL. Wagner to punt to Webster Slaughter. Great kick toward the sideline. Slaughter able to get his hands on it, but driven out of bounds. Excellent job by the Packers. Steve Jackson downfield on special teams.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by EA Sports Video Games. If it's in the game, it's in the game. By Cadillac, changing the way you think about American automobiles. And by McDonald's. What you want is what you get, guaranteed at McDonald's today.
0-0 second quarter. The Oilers take over deep in their own territory. They have had lousy field position tonight. The average starting field position for Houston, their own 12-yard line. White straight up the middle. Got to about the 15-yard line. George Kuntz and Johnny Holland were there to make the tackle. Our college football bowl season starts Friday with the Las Vegas Bowl. The University of Nevada, formerly Nevada Reno, will go against Bowling Green. It is the first of 7 bowl games on ESPN. And Joe and I will be doing the Hall of Fame Bowl in Tampa, Florida on New Year's Day. Hope you join us for that one and all the other bowl games we have coming your way. Ron Franklin and Mike Gottfried will be doing the Las Vegas Bowl for you this Friday night. Carlson to White. And a nice solid tackle by Roland Mitchell, but Lorenzo White fights for the first down and gets it.
One of the toughest things for the offensive linemen to do is they all have to remain square. See how their feet are square? This way, because they have to move laterally so much. Now, when Cody slides to the right, see how they just set? See how they just set up here? They slide this way a little bit. They make people take different directions so that they're easier to block because they have such a square stance.
For White, 3 catches, 43 yards. Come with a blitz against the run, and White will get about 3 across the 25 to the 26.
That was a case in point where Cody Carlson was making a decision whether to run or pass. Bob Young, the offensive line coach, he reminded me on the field, he said, remember, if it's a sack, it's the quarterback's fault. You know, once a lineman, always a lineman. Done a great job. Well, he's got some great all-pros. Maggs, Munchak, Matthews, Dawson, Williams. That is one solid offensive line. Of course, Don Maggs hobbled, going as long as he can go.
2nd and 7. Packers come with a blitz again. And Carlson off the fingertips of Webster Slaughter. He's covered by Tim Hawk out of Montana.
I really feel like the pressure that Green Bay is getting up the middle is creating problems for Cody Carlson. Watch the pressure up the middle. That's what they want to do. Collapse that pocket back into him where he can't step comfortably without a lot of people in there. Causes the ball to go high.
Boy, that looked like a catchable ball. Looked like Webster Slaughter misjudged it and didn't get the arms out. 3rd and 7 in a battle of defense. 0-0, 9:08 to go second quarter. Carlson behind the intended receiver, and Leonard Harris was blasted as he turned to get a hand on it.
Yeah, by who? Chuck Cecil. He will hit anything that is breathing and moving in a blue shirt. This guy is an absolute missile. Left part of your screen. Carlson slides to the left. You see Cecil. He's just hunting him down. Oh, kaboom. Hit him with the shoulder, too.
What a blast.
Hit him with the shoulder in the back.
Montgomery to punt to Brooks as neither team can mount a scoring threat. Low line drive, returnable kick. And may have saved 10 yards, did Brooks, by picking that one up. A punt of 49. Great bounce for Montgomery. A return of only 2. And it's been tough defense that's epitomized this game. The big hit he made.
And you'll notice he's not wiping it off. Defensive guys don't wipe. See, you just wipe the bottom of your nose. You don't wipe it off. You got that good blood flowing down. You're into the game. There comes a shot. You see, he tries to get the shoulder on Harris. He doesn't try and bury that helmet in the middle of his back. And then he lets him know. He says, hey, come in my area again. That's only the beginning. Well, he is a hitter, too.
Ball's at the 27-yard line. Their secondary has done an excellent job tonight. Childress, the best interior lineman in football. Lines up for the Houston defense. Nice fake by Favre. And then Childress and Fuller combine on the sack. Childress has a motor that never quits.
That time, Brett Favre wants to go to Sterling Sharpe. McDowell takes him on the outside. Sharpe just trying to go up the field. But there it is. He's being squeezed. Marcus Robertson squeezing him on one side. Dishman on the outside. He wants to go. Fuller chases him up. Childress finishes him off.
It's a loss of a yard. Edgar Bennett is in, number 34, running back for the Packers. Favre sidearms it complete. And Sterling Sharpe with his first catch of the night out to the 38.
Oilers are making him work. And they're going to move Sharpe all over the place tonight. This time he's in the slot. He releases outside and fills in the hole behind Eddie Robinson. Manages to slide into the dead spot. This is something about Favre. That time he just threw that thing almost underhanded. Got all the releases to get the ball down the field.
First down for the Packers. Thompson back in along with Sidney at running back. Favre sandwiched and really clobbered at the 39. Lee Williams and Childress drilled it. The ball came loose, but they said after he was down.
I think the greatest asset that Ray Childress has is his ability to get off the ball with such quickness. He has tremendous explosion. Watch number 79. Look at him come off the ball. He's driving the double team all the way back. Now he flows around, and there they are again. The bookends, Lee Williams and Ray Childress, they just plant Favre.
Houston fans don't like the call. They thought it was a fumble. Instead, it will be 2nd and 10. Childress, amazingly enough, leads the team in sacks and is second in tackles. You never see that from a defensive tackle. We've got a timeout. 6:51 to go in the half. Still nothing. Robbins, the veteran offensive tackle on the sideline, they are trying to pop his shoulder back into place. And if you have ever had a dislocated joint, you know the intensity of that pain. And Joe Sims, the second-year free agent from Nebraska, comes in at right tackle. Favre throws behind Bennett coming out of the backfield.
Everything he's throwing, Mike, has been low. He's just really in a little bit of a hurry, and he's going to have to settle down a little bit, take his natural strides. He's trying to rush everything. That was something Mike Holmgren mentioned. He said he sees a guy come open, and he just can't get the ball there quick enough. He's going to have to slow down his motor just a notch to be able to make those completions.
Of course, you might be wondering, where is Tony Mandarich if they have to go deep into their offensive line? Mandarich, with a thyroid condition and post-concussion syndrome, is on a weight program. His career may be over. They will decide after Christmas. 3rd and 10. Big rush, Favre to Bennett. And the Oilers just swarm all over them. Steve Jackson was right on Bennett when he made the catch. Unrelenting pressure right now on the quarterback.
And the pressure is up the middle. And the thing about it, Mike, is it's just coming from the front four. There's Childress coming at him again. William Fuller pushing the double teams are being shoved back in Favre's face.
Wagner to punt to Slaughter in a game of defense and field position. Nice kick by Wagner. Slaughter all the way back to the 9. Stepped out of bounds. And there's a flag down on the play. Slaughter nearly broke a huge return. Got 15 yards after a punt of 51.
Games like this, when a game is like this, you know somewhere in this football game, a special teams play is going to make the difference. Somewhere you can almost feel it starting to set itself up. Somewhere kick return, punt return, something in a fake area. Something's got to give in this game.
Well, here's a negative big play. You had an illegal block again on the return, and the Oilers are going to be pinned deep in their own territory again.
Illegal block in the back by the return team during the return, number 56. 10-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal, first down.
We've got a timeout on the field, 5:55 to go first half. Still no score. Raiders or the Oilers starting in the hole again. Jeffries on the quick out. Nice move to get 2 or 3 more yards. And the Packers defense has really closed on the ball beautifully tonight.
Vinnie Clark at 6 feet. Haywood Jeffries at 6'3". Just pushes off the ball. Little quick controlled passing game. Really not as strength letting the ball get to his body. He's excellent hand catcher. Once the ball gets to his body, funny things will happen to it.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3. White. First down across the 20 to the 21, but there's a marker down. Tony Bennett made the tackle. Now we'll check the penalty. And Bruce Matthews arguing about it. And back it comes. Houston has now been penalized 94 times. That's 24th in the NFL. They're shooting themselves in the foot tonight.
Holding on the offense, number 74, 10-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal.
You know,
second down.
That's a tough thing for the offensive lineman to do. We talk about the balanced stance. Run blocking becomes a problem. See his right arm up underneath? Now he grabs the shoulder pad. They do that every down. I mean, somebody's doing it somewhere in America every down.
2nd and 11 for the Oilers. Ball spotted at their own 9. Carlson with a screen to White. Nice job to set up some blocks and got out to the 18-yard line. Tim Hawk made the tackle, and Tootie Robbins, the 11-year veteran, the former Cardinal, being wheeled to the locker room with a dislocated shoulder, we believe. Big loss for this ball club. They made a great trade in getting him from Phoenix. Only gave up a 6th-round draft choice, and he's done a lot for their offensive line. And in obvious discomfort. 3rd and 2 after the pickup on the screen pass. White will have the first down after the 22-yard line.
We talked about the evolution of what defenses have tried to do to the Houston Oilers offense, and an indicator of that is taking a look at yards per reception. 90, they were at 13.3. 91, 12.4. So far in 92, 11.4. It's been a yard every year. And that's everybody factored in, making a big difference in them trying to get the ball upfield.
New set of downs for the Oilers. Carlson deep sideline and nobody out there except Terrell Buckley. It wasn't a blue shirt within 15 yards, and somebody read it wrong.
Well, that's, Mike, you bring up a very interesting point. You can't necessarily read it wrong because the receivers are reading the defense on the run. Warren Moon, as well as Cody Carlson, still trying to figure out, okay, they have 4 different options. They can take the post, they can go in, they can stop, they can hook. It's not easy to get coordination.
Well, either the receiver went the wrong way or Carlson did. He saw it differently. They try another screen, but Bryce Paup, number 95, got the hands up and knocked it away. Paup, an excellent pass rusher from that outside linebacker spot after they moved him from the inside.
Reverse angle, you see in the bottom of your screen, number 95. He feels the pressure. Dave Williams pushes him off, but he gets up in it. Perfectly timed. Perfectly timed jump, just manages to get a little bit of a right wrist on it.
Very impressed by the Packer defense tonight. For Carlson, 8 out of 16, only 76 yards in a rapidly moving first half. Over the middle, complete to Webster. Slaughter. Fumble. No indication yet. Now the Packers have the football. And it's Roland Mitchell, number 47, with the recovery after the Oilers finally get a big play. Webster Slaughter makes the catch and then coughed it up.
They finally get some room in the middle of the defense. All Webster's doing is trying to make something out of it. Good line protection. Cody reads it right. Webster Slaughter, a new addition to the offense, catches it deep in the middle. Now he's trying to make a play. Good job. Mitchell strips it away. Terrell Buckley comes in and makes the hit. There you see from the reverse angle. Terrell Buckley wouldn't let go. Kept on hanging on.
First big break of the game. Packers at the Oiler, 43. They'll lose 2 yards. William Fuller for a 2-yard loss. Great stop by the defensive end.
Great penetration by Jeff Alm, number 76 as well. Ray Rhodes in the middle with the towel around his neck, the defensive coordinator. This is what his ball club has done since he's tinkered with it. Look at the takeaways. 15 takeaways, only 7 giveaways in the last 5 games.
And you've got to remember, he installed a new system for these guys, something they had to learn. 2nd and 13. Favre off his back foot. Incomplete.
He doesn't look comfortable. I think Mike Holmgren's going to have to move him a little bit. He's got to get him away from that pressure up the middle. This is what's known as throwing off your back foot. If you want to see an illustration, there it is. Throwing going backwards. That gets you in nothing but trouble.
Do you know anybody who would be comfortable?
No. I can't think of a soul, as a matter of fact. That's why I'd roll them one way or the other.
3rd and 12, the Oilers with their dime package. 6 defensive backs in the game and very small numbers for Brett Favre. Complete to the sideline. That'll be a first down inside the Houston 30-yard line. Robert Brooks, the rookie, a gain of 16. So if Sterling Sharpe isn't there, you find somebody else.
Well, there's another South Carolina guy, so you're sort of keeping it in the schools. Favre does a nice job. You see him on the out pattern. Jackson turns him loose. That's the soft area. Sterling Sharpe runs the coverage off. An awful lot of times you can have a decoy. Chris Dishman just said he wanted this game. Look at that. That is what's called a total complete blanket.
We've hit the 2-minute warning. Nothing from the Astrodome. 2 minutes to go, first half, in a scoreless game from the Astrodome. And 62,000 people on hand. This is tonight's Budweiser storyline. White with 77 total yards. He has really been the offense, as Cody Carlson has been limited to 9 out of 17. Sterling Sharpe held to 1 catch. And the total yards only 120 to 73.
How about a Packer rushing breakdown? Favre's got 14 yards. The wide receivers have 7, and the running backs have 7. Wouldn't quite call that power football.
This is a good Houston defense, though. 1st and 10 from the 29, the deepest penetration for either club tonight. Keep it on the ground, and they hand it to Corey Harris, who is a wide receiver, his first carry of the year. He was a running back for 2 years at Vanderbilt.
He gets a chance to be a running back a little bit here because it was first 2 years there. Then he went to wide receiver, and he's still really learning the wide receiver position. Mike Holmgren just using the athlete in him at any position he can.
They ran him that time directly from scrimmage. Earlier, he had a 7-yard run on a reverse. Second and 7, Favre throws behind Sharpe, and he couldn't hold it.
Quick post. Sterling just coming off the ball, reads the defense. Favre just throws it a little too far behind him. I would say that it's got to be a better throw, but still, it's the kind of catch Sterling usually makes. I mean, Chris Espn, when he talks about Sterling Sharpe, he said, hey, the guy drops very few balls, and Brett Favre just absolutely knew it.
And there will be something said about that in the huddle. These guys rib each other mercilessly. 3rd and 7. Favre will not get the first down, chased out by Bubba McDowell near the 21.
Made a good decision. Mike Holmgren does not tolerate turnovers or mistakes very well. And in that case, what Favre did was he knew they were in field goal range, give Jackie a chance to make the kick, get out of bounds, don't put it up where it can be picked off.
Mikowski, the familiar number 7 for the Packers, is now the holder for Chris Jackie.
Completely healed. Said he feels better than he's ever felt, throwing the ball really well.
This will be a 39-yard attempt. Jackie has hit 8 of his last 9. Line drives that one and got it through. Nothing for style points, but 3 for the field goal.
This is as close to a knuckleball you're going to get with a football. Everybody just walking around in disbelief. It's like, was it really good? Watch this thing hardly is going to get off the ground. It just sort of wavers sideways past the line of scrimmage. Almost hits goalpost, Cam. And obviously made 4 revolutions.
Ugly, but it works.
Nobody's ever going to look back in the record books, and all they're going to see is the 3 points, not how ugly it went through.
Coming up at halftime, Chris Berman with the fastest 3 minutes in television and some tremendous highlights for you from today, including some upsets. The NFL playoff picture, better minds than ours. We'll sort it out in the studio, and Joe will be back for his analysis of the first half of this ball game. So the Packers on the board first, and they lead it 3-0. And Webster Slaughter's fumble set up the drive for the field goal. Here's a guy who was so frustrated when he first came here because he had no idea what the run and shoot was about.
Next year, Webster Slaughter will have an entire training camp. Next year, he will be a big impact receiver.
Jackie's kick will go 6 yards deep in the end zone, and Coleman will down it there.
Chris Palmer on the left, Warren Moon on the right. They're talking to one another. Of course, Warren Moon talking to Cody Carlson. This is new experiences for both of them. Chris Palmer hasn't called plays since 1984 and 5 when he was with the Generals. He's never done it from upstairs. So he's getting a different view of the field. Of course, for Warren Moon to be signaling them in as well as communicating upstairs, broadening his experience, one I'm sure he's anxious to give back to the coaching.
Oilers take over at the 20. This is actually good field position for them. Carlson center screen for White. And White will get 6, maybe 7 before he's tracked down from behind by Bryce Paup.
One thing that jumps out, Mike, on both these defensive lines, great lines, great quickness, great speed chasing the ball down the field.
Clock running, 45 seconds left in the half. Carlson to Givens, that will be a first down out to the 32-yard line. Johnny Holland was right there. And the Oilers will use a timeout. Stop the clock with 31 seconds to go. Carlson, 11 out of 19, 111 yards, but the Oilers have only crossed midfield once.
Mike, take a look at what the Packers are doing defensively. As we roll the tape, you'll see they're giving them a lot of room underneath. They're right there if you stop. See, they're letting them have all this stuff in here. These guys are sort of closing the middle, but here's a safety way back here, safety way back there. They're just not giving them an opportunity to go down the field. And when the ball is thrown, they're always going towards it instead of trying to chase it down the field.
The Packers have really done a remarkable job this year. And Jack Pardee knows he is within 4 plays of having only 1 loss this season. His Houston Oilers team has pushed a lot of people all over the field, only to lose it at the end. It's been a terribly frustrating year for them. Still, they're 8-5 and have a shot at the division. It's not a wild card. Carlson with the deep out, complete to Duncan. And Duncan will get out of bounds at the 49-yard line. He is second in the conference. That is his 70th catch, trailing only his teammate Haywood Jeffries.
Cody Carlson certainly has the arm. He rolls away this time. Duncan up top of your screen, hooks up by the sideline, does a nice job here. Realizes he can make a play. Now he gets out of bounds to save the clock. Good presence of mind on the field.
23 seconds to go in the half. Oilers at their own 49. Four-man rush. Carlson with time, throws complete to the 30-yard line. Hit Duncan again, and he rolls out of bounds. Another smart play by Duncan. And now the Oilers use a timeout as they say he was touched inbounds and did not stop the clock.
If you're going to go after a rookie, coaches can protect a rookie in most instances. But once you get in 2 minutes, you lock into a defense. That's Terrell Buckley up top. And you see the job that Duncan does on him. He sells him up the field and then just stops. Cody Carlson he can throw a ball. As a matter of fact, when you talk to the receivers, he throws it harder than Warren Moon. But you can bet, if you're a rookie corner, it's on-the-job training, and that's what Terrell Buckley's getting.
Of course, Buckley, another one of the rookies that held out, came in late, did not have the advantage of going through training camp. Tremendous physical skills. He's got a great attitude.
And also didn't start until week 5.
That's right.
So he's another one of those insertions into the defense.
Al Del Greco, who missed 2 game-winning kicks and has been under a lot of fire here in Houston, but what people forget, he has a game-winning kick earlier this year and is a quality kicker. He'd like nothing better than to come through a couple of times down the stretch. 16 seconds to go in the half. Carlson, Jeffries at the sideline, stops the clock. 11 seconds at the 24. Without timeouts, they can't throw the ball down the middle.
No, they can't. And that's something the Packers have to realize. They can go soft in the middle because they would not have time to complete a pass in the middle of the field and still get their field goal unit out onto the field to try the kick. I'm sure Mike Holmgren has reminded his team exactly what the situation is. He covers every base. Excellent, excellent football coach. Doing a great job as a rookie head coach.
11 seconds to go, 2nd and 4. Carlson has it picked off at the 1-yard line. Vinnie Clark. Clark still on his feet. Out near the 30-yard line, that's the end of the half. Vinnie Clark with his 2nd interception, and a bad decision by Cody Carlson cost him at least a field goal.
And Cody Carlson looks like he's hurt. Haywood Jeffries now, you know they've got to work to the perimeter. Vinnie Clark's been on him all day. He just hangs in the zone. You see Chuck Cecil coming over. Now Cecil comes over and just puts the head under the armpit and levels Haywood Jeffries.
And both Jeffries and Carlson very slow to get up, as Vinnie Clark, the rookie who was burned a year ago, now in his 2nd year with more confidence and bigger plays. We will check on Haywood Jeffries and the rest of the players. Right now, let's join Chris Berman in the playoff hunt, leading the Houston Oilers here at the Astrodome.
Oh, it's amazing. You think of these 2 offensive teams, the Green Bay Packers, molded after the San Francisco 49ers, which seem this year to almost be unstoppable. Packers in their own right have. Of course, the Houston Oilers with the run and shoot, supposedly a wide open offense.
Haywood Jeffries with a bandage on the forehead, seeming no worse for wear. And Del Greco will kick it off. Corey Harris and Robert Brooks, a pair of rookies. Harris had a seam to the 45. Ball came loose, but they'll whistle it down. No fumble. And the Packers will start with great field position after a return of 35.
Richard Smith, the special teams coach, exhorting his troops. There's the play now. Is the ball out? Ball, no, ground cannot cause a fumble. Good call by the official. Excellent job by the official. The ruling is the ground cannot cause a fumble. In that case, it did.
Spotted at the 44. Packers trying to win for the 5th straight time. The last time that happened, the Lombardi era, 1966, when they won Super Bowl I. Thompson. Boy, Johnny Gray came up from the corner and wouldn't let him get back to the line of scrimmage. Excuse me, Jerry Gray.
And that is not Darrell Thompson's strong suit. He was an I-back in college. He's better off running up the middle.
Halftime stats. Passing yards for Houston, 151, only 45 for Green Bay. Neither team able to run the ball in the first half. But even with 151, Houston had no points. And the average start, their own 13 for the Oilers. And when you're playing zone, laying back and making them be very patient, when you have to go 87 yards on an average every time you touch the ball, it makes it very, very difficult. Throw over the middle, Thompson. Skitters down to the 47-yard line where Al Smith made the tackle.
The Green Bay offense is a controlled passing offense. Of course, Favre likes to get it down the field. And you see just one try to Sterling Sharpe deep. But he's dumped off a lot of balls. Little off to his right. He's a right-handed quarterback. Makes a lot of sense when you get a lot of pressure from the defensive line. You want to unload the ball. We gave Ray Rhodes the circle with the towel. Let's give Sherm Lewis the circle here. The offensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers.
Sterling Sharpe, the leading receiver in the NFL with 88 catches, has been held to 1. He averages nearly 7 a game. 3rd and short. Favre, play action. Goes to his tight end, Jackie Harris. First down to the Oilers' 37-yard line. And Jackie Harris has really emerged as a force. He is #1 in the NFL among tight ends in catches. That's his first tonight.
And there was a guy who was an exceptional wide receiver, a 4'6" wide receiver in college. Comes into the pros. He creates problems for safeties down the middle because he has such great speed to get in the inside of a zone if you want to double the outside receivers.
If the Packers score here, it will really be a surprise for everyone. They only have 19 points in the 3rd quarter all year long. Thompson, not this time. Waiting for him was Sean Jones and Al Smith. There's a flag on the play. And Houston was offside. And Jim Eddy exercised about it.
He's got the greatest expression.
Doesn't he?
Offsides on the defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's Fuller. He gets tougher and tougher to play defense when you're in a 3-0 game because every play can mean so much.
And their defense has played so well. I mean, they've held them to 3 points. The turnover really set it up, so it wasn't the defense's fault. It's not like Green Bay's taken it and driven it down their throat.
The #1 defense in the AFC. 1st and 5 for the Pack. Favre throws complete to Harris inside the 30-yard line, and a gang stands him up. Marcus Robertson, number 31, got the first hit.
Take a look, see who's caught the ball this second half. You'll see in the first part of the game they wanted to go to the wide receivers. Now you've got Thompson making a catch. You've got Harris making 2. 1, 2, 3, quick set, quick look, and fire the ball. This is a 4-yard completion, but still, it's a completion. Working inside to the running backs and to the tight ends. Those are the people who are very difficult to double cover.
It will leave Green Bay with the 2nd and 1 at the Houston 28-yard line. 11:25 to go, third period. 3-0 Pack. And first down as Thompson takes it straight up the middle inside the 25. Smith and Robinson, the linebackers, combined on the tackle.
He just runs with so much more authority up the middle. And he's a little bit deeper. He just feels so much more comfortable going right up the middle.
And he is not their workhorse back. That's Vince Workman, who's been on injured reserve with a shoulder injury. He's eligible to come back right away. Thompson and Edgar Bennett have done a fine job running the ball in his absence. Favre gets it to Sterling Sharpe. Dishman takes him out of bounds. Only his 2nd catch of the night. There's Vince Workman. Came in 10th in the conference with 631 yards. They expect him back next week, averaging 4 yards a carry.
Also an excellent pass receiver. They lose a little bit when he's out of the lineup as far as pass receptions go.
2nd and 6. Packers with a good-looking drive here. It's reached the Houston 20. Thompson. Fuller had him by the knees and wouldn't let go. Gain of maybe a yard. Fuller, Pro Bowl starter a year ago. Mike Holmgren, a very tough coach, a disciplinarian. But when you talk to him, he's got that twinkle in his eye. Loves what he's doing.
And doing a great job at it.
Tootie Robbins out of his uniform. He is done for the night and appears to have a big ice bag on that dislocated shoulder. The veteran of the offensive line acquired from Phoenix. Favre again, the quick set, got it to Lewis. Lewis will pick up maybe a yard. And right there, Jerry Gray. An important acquisition for this ball club from the Rams.
Again, great defense by the front four. Watch the push. It's just a 4-man rush. That's all it is. They force Favre to throw the ball. He gets it out for the short pass. It's up to the receiver to break a tackle. He can't. You make him kick.
Jackie, who has the only points of the night from 39, and will try this one from 36. Dead center. Chris Jackie 2 for 2. And the Green Bay Packers extend their lead over the Oilers to 6-0. And they took a lot of time off the clock on that drive. 6:27. Coleman from the 3. Diving forward to the 20-yard line. Jim Eddy working with the defense. There's a flag down on the play, came in late. Jim Eddy drawing up plans for his defense at the 10-yard line.
Certainly has been accustomed tonight. Cody Carlson has had to work out of holes. You can see that they're trying to go deep, but they're getting nothing out of it. He's working inside that 15-yard area and spreading it out across the field. But look in the backfield. 5 for 5 in swing passes and screens to Low White behind the line of scrimmage. Matter of fact, he's 7 for 7 behind the line of scrimmage with passes.
Jim Eddy talking to his rookie linebacker, Eddie Robinson, telling him what he wants to do on the next series. The defense has played very well. They've given up 2 Chris Jackie field goals, and that's it. But the Packers defense has played even better. And the Oilers need to get something started on the offensive side of the ball. Haywood Jeffries, good news, back in the ball game. Carlson with plenty of time. Throws it in, intercepted at the 31-yard line. Chuck Cecil with the pick. And Cecil battling his way inside the 5 to the 3. A return of 28 yards. That is his first interception of the season.
Chuck Cecil, blood all over his nose still. Got his war paint on. Cody Carlson set, looking down the middle of the field. There he is, right there. All he's going to do is sit and watch. As Cody rolls, he doesn't move. The receiver comes across. He sees everything. Now he's going to break on the ball. Ball is thrown. It's just badly thrown. It's way out front too far. The receiver was there, and so was Chuck Cecil.
The second turnover of the night forced by Green Bay. And they have a golden opportunity here. Favre almost intercepted in the end zone. 4 players had a shot at it. Dumas got a hand on it. Maybe Robertson did too. Oh, what a huge play that would have been.
Little patience. Favre, not the most patient person. He showed it tonight. He looks, he sees, he makes the throw. He's trying to go to Harris. Oh, my goodness. Right through Mike Dumas's hands. Woo.
Got away with one.
I don't know if that's a woo or a thank you.
It's both. Second and goal from the 2. Sidney. And Fuller hit him behind the line of scrimmage. That cost him a yard. Boy, these guys come off the ball.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And now you're down in a confined area. They've come off the ball all over the field. Now you've got them backed up in a confined area. You can bet they're going to be firing the gaps. Look at that. Almost to the man, the Oilers got under every Green Bay Packer. That means that the line is not going forward. Now, Chuck Cecil went in at halftime with blood on his nose. Looked in the mirror, decided it looked pretty good, and has kept it.
You don't remove a badge of honor. And Dishman exhorting the defense on 3rd and goal. Favre. Stuffed at the 3, Al Smith.
Sterling Sharpe, the guy he wants to go to, and they've got him covered like a blanket. Even getting bumped around. Favre just doesn't have the time after a while to look for him. I mean, Sterling will come open. By that time, Brett's got all kinds of problems of his own to deal with.
What a defensive stand by the Oilers after the big interception by Chuck Cecil. This will be a 20-yard attempt by Chris Jackie. He's been perfect. He's also been the only scoring of the night. 6:29 to go, 3rd quarter. Green Bay 9, Houston nothing. His Oiler defense stood tall again and held the Packers to a field goal, but it's 9-0. And they need some help from their offense.
Well, they're trying to show the formations to the defensive line what they're getting from the Packers and the audibles they have to go to when they get in that formation.
Tillman and Coleman deep to receive Jackie's kick. Coleman from the goal line. And the Packers have done a great job on kick coverage. Still 9-0. Back in a moment. Packers from the Astrodome. Let's take a look at the NFC wildcard scenario. The New Orleans Saints have clinched a berth at least as a wild card. The Redskins, with that huge win over Dallas today, now at 9-5. They play at Philadelphia next week. The Eagles stayed even with the Redskins with the overtime win in Seattle. And the Green Bay Packers here tonight trying to run their record to 8-6. They have the Rams and Minnesota left. That could decide the division. Carlson gets the completion out to the 25-yard line where Johnny Holland makes the decisive stop. Duncan, another underneath catch.
When you keep changing defenses like Green Bay and Ray Rhodes has done, it not only creates problems for an offense that would be considered a normal offense, but it compounds the problems against the run and shoot because both the receivers and the quarterback have to read something different.
Gain of 9 on the last play, 2nd and 1. White, big hole this time, and Lorenzo White up to the 34-yard line. Johnny Holland with another tackle.
Ernest Givens, sort of a forgotten man in this offense, and believe me, he'll let you know he's had 2 catches for only 14 yards tonight.
The other offensive factor for this ball club is Lorenzo White, the 1,000-yard rusher. 11 carries, only 33 yards. So Green Bay has shut everybody down. Carlson throws, Slaughter driving for the first down and stopped just shy. 4 Green Bay Packers took him out of bounds.
Webster Slaughter has really been a great addition. He's given him some size inside. This time he comes across in motion, starts up, then moves across underneath the zone, getting much more comfortable. He said, you know, it's really difficult to be able to try and execute with physical skills and think out there at the same time. He's getting more comfortable, and you can see his physical skills.
He's had 11 catches the last 2 weeks after finally getting into the offense. The flag is down. It looked like Mike Munchak, the left guard, jumped early.
False start prior to the snap on the offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
Penalties tonight. The Oilers, who are very heavily penalized all year long, have 7. Green Bay only 1.
A lot of them have come on kicks that have forced them to be backed up deep in their own territory. You can bet Jack's not very happy.
Complete down to the Packer 37. Webster Slaughter makes the grab. Carl Carter was there, but he couldn't stop it. A gain of 24.
Carl Carter on Webster Slaughter. He's got an eye on him. He knows he's got a man-to-man. Webb starts inside, then just breaks out. Great concentration. When I asked him what he thought he could bring to this offense, he said, I can bring big plays. And that's exactly what he just did.
Big job for Carl Carter tonight. He had not played from scrimmage since he signed on November 4th. And here he is covering Webster Slaughter. The little dink, Givens. And the Oilers finally showing some life on offense.
Cody Carlson with lots of time to be able to throw the football. Jack Pardee likes what he sees now. Tony Bennett has 12.5 sacks. Look at the job that Maggs is doing. I mean, he's not even close to Cody. Good throwing lane. Givens good concentration through the arms. Turns it upfield and then gets out of bounds.
Givens now with 61 catches for his career number 2 for the Oilers all time. Comes the blitz. Carlson dumps it for White. Stopped at the 1-foot line. That's a great job by Carlson and White.
That is a slip screen. What they do is Lorenzo White is supposed to block a guy. He just hesitates and slides down the middle of the field. Look at Chuck Cecil. He is so far back. He's 20 yards back. By the time White gets the ball, and he's going backward. He's in the end zone. Now he's got to react all the way up. He's got to react 25 yards to try and make a play. You give Lorenzo White an opportunity to make a play from 25 yards away, he's going to make you miss.
1st and goal from a foot away. White ran into his own blocker, may have lost a foot. Tim Hawk, the first man to hit him for Green Bay.
This is a very difficult situation for the Houston Oilers offensive linemen. I mentioned before about them being in a balanced stance. That means both feet are fairly parallel. You don't lock your foot back like you see with great run drive blockers. They have to remain parallel because it could be an audible to a pass. So I wouldn't expect them to try and drive it up the middle. I'd expect them to go off the corners or throw the ball.
Cecil trying to turn in another big play, but it's a touchdown. Carlson calls his own number, and he was perfect on that drive.
Quick count, too. Don't give the defense a chance to really hunker down and get in good stances. He comes to the line, goes with a quick count. Of course, he's got an all-world center in Bruce Matthews. He just stays close to him. See, he puts his arms up, holding everybody, and then say, hey, I'll just follow you, Bruce. Take me home.
And now Al Del Greco will come out and try to cut the lead to 2 points. And that finally has the fans on their feet here at the Astrodome. Del Greco has kicked 113 straight extra points. With 1:23 to go, third quarter, Houston finally on the board. Have Ricky Waters injured and be able to bring in Ampley out of Florida State and have him turn in that performance. And that offense did its job this time as Del Greco prepares to kick to the Packers. It's 9-7, Green Bay over Houston, 1:23 to go, third quarter. Harris and Brooks, the rookies, are deep. Brooks didn't make the 20-yard line. The scoring drive for the Oilers. For the 15th time this year, the Houston Oilers mounted an 80-yard plus drive. They did it in 5:06. Carlson hit every pass on the drive and scored on the run.
Key play was a slip screen. Watch this. Lorenzo White's back here. Johnny Holland's going to blitz. He's just going to nick him and then slide out. There's nobody to cover White because he's supposed to be a blocker. See, he just slips him. And now wide open in the middle of the field. Nearest guy is Chuck Cecil. He was 5 yards deep in the end zone.
Big offensive series here as the Packers are not used to starting deep in their own territory. Favre with a short set, throws complete. Sterling Sharpe out across the 30 to the 31. His third catch. And we have an injured player down, one of the Oilers. Ron Wolf is in the middle of the picture on top.
Right there.
Ron Wolf is the reason that Brett Favre is the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. He went to scout him, watched the films of him as a senior, wasn't terribly impressed, started to leave. This is when he was the personnel director for the Jets. Then someone said, hey, have you seen the films of him as a junior before he had that auto wreck? And he said, no, I haven't. Handed him to him, went down and looked at him and said, whoa, this kid is really good. In the auto wreck, he had 30 inches of his intestine removed in an operation, lost 35 pounds. As a senior, he was not the same player, so a lot of people laid off of him. Ron Wolf thought he was the best player in the entire draft, and they worked a trade with the Atlanta Falcons to get him. And Al Smith is the injured player for the Oilers, their big middle linebacker, who is such a great hitter. Boy, you just get gun shy in these situations. Every time anybody is down, you get scared.
Left part of your screen, Sterling with the catch. I see Al stick the helmet right on his shoulder. And he stays down. Saw him grab towards his neck when he was on the ground.
And no matter how big and how strong you are, how much support you have, you use the helmet and stick it in there, it's very dangerous. Sterling Sharpe has now broken his own single season record for the Green Bay Packers. 91 catches. The record is Art Monk, 106. I think Joe Theismann threw him 106 that year.
Art, you know, they're very similar in receivers. They're not known for their speed, but they're certainly fast enough to run by a lot of people. They have terrific hands, can lay out for the ball, have no respect for their body. But, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to the Oiler defensive backs. Look at what they've done with Sterling. Chris Dishman plays one side, Jerry Gray plays the other. They've caught no balls out here or deep. Everything has been in the middle of the field and even behind the line of scrimmage.
And as you pointed out at the beginning of the telecast, without support from another wide receiver on the other side of the field, and he hasn't had it all year, he is a marked man. I mean, they have tried to double cover him and take him out of the ballgame. That,
I think, is what sets him apart from any record that he might establish. He really has had to go it alone, knowing that he's the guy. Of course, all the Oilers are concerned with Al Smith lying still on the field.
First half, it was Haywood Jeffries who was down for 4.5 minutes after a big collision, and now Smith has been on the field a long while.
And it looks like he's got movement. Watch him coming. See him playing his head coming from the left side. Now he's down on the ground. He tries to get up. And then he sort of grabs up towards his neck. Now he is sitting up.
Which is the first sign you want to see. You want to make sure there's movement.
I saw before he was moving his feet as well, which is another good sign. There he is, swinging his neck around. Everybody's nodding their head saying, wow.
And you notice the concern of the other players. In this situation, it truly is one big fraternity.
This is a fraternity. You're absolutely right. I know with my accident, the way Lawrence reacted and Jimmy Burt, and we saw with Dennis Byrd how everybody cares. Of course, we do send our best wishes out to Dennis Byrd as well, who's really progressing, and all those prayers I know are coming through. And Matt Brock, who was his roommate in college, sends his best wishes along to him. Well, unfortunately, Al Smith is up walking.
Good to see, and he should be back in the ball game. Our situation right here, 9-7 Packers. They have a 1st and 10 at their own 32. 53 seconds to go, third quarter. Favre underhands it to Sharpe. He can't hold it. Incomplete pass. No fumble. Incomplete. Of course, the crowd doesn't like it, but it was obvious.
Doesn't matter how you throw the ball.
And they didn't run that play the way they drew it up.
You know why? Because the defensive line of the Oilers got off so quickly. Look at this. They tried to execute it. He never really has possession, so it's not a reception and a fumble.
Jeff Alm out of Notre Dame just poured through the line. It's a remarkable charge. Alm playing for Doug Smith, the huge injured defensive tackle, and he's played very well. Sharpe. It's a first down at the 43. Dishman got him around the ankles from behind.
It's phenomenal, Mike. They just find him. He catches one from the left side. He catches one from the right side. He catches one from up close. This time, Dishman tries to jam him and change up. Does a good job of escaping the coverage and manages to get inside. Dishman can just make an ankle tackle.
For the year, 92 catches and counting for Sterling Sharpe. And that will be the last play of the third period here at the Astrodome. The Packers cling to a 9-7 lead. 'Tis the season to be jolly and also to play very intense football.
Yeah, you can tell it's December. You look at the intensity of the way teams play. We saw in the Redskin-Cowboy game today, Seattle at home is like a playoff team. They played Philadelphia tough. This one tonight, great defensive play, great intensity. The offense is struggling a little bit. That's why every play is so critical. You can't afford to let one get away from you. And the defense is trying to create the turnovers. 1 touchdown and 3 field goals. That's Chuck Cecil, and that's what it's all about, the intensity in the hitting. There's a Christmas card. Yeah. I'd like to get that one in the mail. No, thanks.
Thompson on 1st and 10, and Childress holds him to a gain of a yard. It's one of the few times in the second half he has not been double-teamed, so he makes the tackle.
He has such, I said it before and I'll say it again. Watch his explosion off the ball. Number 79. Look at him, spin around, make the play. Jeff Alm coming off the ball as well. Both the inside tackles just penetrating. They realize that Favre takes short drops. We've seen one sack, but that was early in the game. Now he's getting it off quick, and they're getting pressure on him quick.
Packer running backs averaging 1.2 yards a carry tonight. Favre in the flat for Thompson. Jerry Gray came up, cut his legs out from under him. Of course, every Sunday is your home for pro football on ESPN, starting at noon Eastern. Game day with Chris, Tom, Chris, and Joe. And there must be another couple of Chris's in there somewhere. They'll provide the best pregame show in the NFL for you. Then back at 7 o'clock Eastern primetime, all the highlights, all the scores. And then at 8 o'clock next week, Joe and I will be in sunny Miami at Joe Robbie Stadium. The Jets will go against the Dolphins. Dolphins still with a chance to win their division. Favre in the flat, complete to Sharpe. What a defensive play by Jerry Gray. Jerry Gray has made some huge plays this year. He has also guessed wrong on a few and been burned to a crisp. But that time, he got it.
You're absolutely right. They blitz him. So consequently, Dishman does a nice job of not trying to go out. There's two veteran corners. They switched in man-to-man coverage. The throw is a little bit high, but a sure tackle by Jerry Gray.
13:01 to go in the game. Webster Slaughter waits at the 10 for the punt of Brian Wagner. Packers have had terrible problems with their punting this year. Wagner's net only 33 yards. Got a beautiful kick this time. Slaughter, fair catch, makes it at the 10. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. High soaring punt of 39, no return. Check the penalty. Huge penalty because that's a first down. What a mistake by the Oilers.
Jerry Gray, you saw him say, I was.
Offsides on the defense, lined up over the line of scrimmage, the right side of the line. It's a 5-yard penalty and gives a first down.
No player identification. And I don't know if Jerry Gray was the guilty party or he was just hot because he made such a great play the time before.
I think he said I was. And, of course, they're trying to get in there to put pressure on the punter. Jack Pardee, when we sat down and visited with him, he said the first thing he said about this season, he said, the mistakes we've made have been glaring. We saw Dumas drop an interception in the end zone. 2 offside penalties have hurt them tonight.
Oh, what a quality coach Jack Pardee is. He has won everywhere he's ever been. New set of downs for the Packers. Favre. Gray with the interception. Joe, you could see the indecision by Brett Favre on that play.
As soon as he let it go, you knew he wanted it back. Great job. What they're doing is they're just playing Sterling Sharpe short and deep. You see Dishman with the jam. Okay, I'll back up, back up, back up. He tries to run an out and up. He pulls up in the area. Favre thinks he's going to go up the field. Jerry Gray, great one-handed tip. See him bracketed? See how he's bracketed? One behind, one in front. Favre's got nowhere to go. He should have put that one in the cheap seats.
4th interception of the year for Gray, hit 26th of his career, and Favre came into this game with the 2nd lowest interception percentage in the NFL this year. Carlson to Duncan. And Duncan able to turn the corner out of bounds at the 30.
It's interesting, Mike. Just like any offense has to settle in to running plays, I think it's happening for the play calling of Chris Palmer transferring down to Coach Warren Moon. I really think Chris Palmer now is starting to see a lot better the things he has to, getting it down to Warren. You can just get a feel, okay, I'm not going to try and force the ball. I'm going to take underneath plays.
Well, you made the point earlier, he's not used to calling the plays, hasn't done it in years. Carlson calling out the play at the line. And White will get the carry. Lorenzo White across the 38-yard line. And Tim Hawk and Johnny Holland made the tackle. Both very busy tonight. Number 4 quarterback in the NFL coming in has really been handled tonight. Only 105 yards and that 1 interception. And Jerry Gray, the veteran who said he was happy for a new lease on life after the Rams wanted to cut him loose. And he's made the most of it in Houston. 2nd and a yard. White will get the first down and a lot more near midfield. Well, they've got it going in the air and they've got it going on the ground. Lorenzo White now over 50 yards.
I'll tell you something else, too. Lorenzo White, it's tough for the Houston Oilers offense to prepare for any kind of a defense because nobody else in the league plays their style. So every week they come in, it's sort of like, let's feel it out. Let's see what we got. Now they're into the game plan. They've had a chance to study it for a half.
Houston down by 2 points, 4th quarter. Oh, the offensive line doing a great job, too. Slaughter, another first down. He's to the Packer, 36. Carl Carter took him out of bounds.
You can write that down. That's not the last time you've seen a 6-yard crossing pattern. But look at the great job Cody Carlson is getting from his offensive line with protection. We stop it right there. Here's the cut. And see how he has a chance to step up in? He's got throwing lanes in different places to make the delivery. Nice job. In fact, Bruce Matthews just sort of hanging out in the middle looking for somebody to hit.
Carlson performs under pressure. 77% completion rate in the 4th quarter this year. Lost the fumble. Couldn't come up with a snap. The Packers say they have it. No official indication yet. Just never got the snap from Bruce Matthews. And in this situation, strongest guy wins. And the Packers have the strongest guy. They have been very opportunistic. That is their 17th fumble recovery, tied for 2nd in the NFL. And Bryce Paup came out with it. So Houston finally moving the ball, but they turn it over again.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Molson. The call comes down from Canada. Crisp, clean, refreshing. Molson, answer the call. And by Gillette and the revolutionary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Gillette, the best a man can get.
9-7 Green Bay leads with 10:03 to go in the game, and Cody Carlson has committed the turnover that gives the ball back to the Packers, their 4th of the night.
Bruce Matthews, his center, looking at pictures, trying to figure out what went wrong.
Packers take over at the 37. Play action. Favre rifles one, a great catch at the 49. Ron Lewis, who they picked up on waivers from San Francisco.
Coming into this game, Ron Lewis only had 7 catches, where Sterling had 88. Favre with a little play action. Lewis just goes down, does a little quick turn, plants on Jerry Gray, gets his hands up. Nice reaction. And Favre does put a little heat on the ball, too.
Doesn't he? The kid has a gun. First down at midfield. Al Smith back in the Oilers lineup at middle linebacker. Favre to Lewis. He'll get 3, maybe 4 out of that. Gray makes the stop again.
There was a case where Favre saw everybody at the line of scrimmage instead of going through. He doesn't even he hardly takes he takes 1 step back. That's a 1-step drop and fire it out to the wide receiver.
Jim Eddy hoping his defense can do it again. They've held the Packers to 3 field goals, but maybe they need to avoid a 4th one here. Down by 2. And Ray Childress, who has had a typical big night for the Houston defense. Dishman, who has drawn the job most of the night on Sterling Sharpe, and Sean Jones set to let it rip on 2nd and 6. Favre in the flat to Harry Sidney. Got away from Smith. Fuller chased him down, but it may be another Green Bay first down.
You know Sterling can catch the football, but what happens with him on the field is he can create voids in an area. Dishman's got a man-to-man underneath. He's being backed up by the safety. It creates a soft spot on the right side. See Dishman go back out where Sharpe is. Now you force Al Smith to try and make a play, who's back in the game. And Harry Sidney picks up almost a first down. Or possibly a first down. Definitely a first down.
Well, you had that one covered.
I got it covered. Well, you know, I'm 1-1. I want to hedge my bets a little bit.
Just had Earl Campbell stop by the booth, the 5-time 1,000-yard rusher, and in his prime, there was nobody better, maybe nobody better ever. And he is in the Hall of Fame here.
Here and in camp.
Oh, what a load.
Any place he wants to be in the
Hall of Fame you want, he's in it. He still looks like he could play.
Former Heisman Trophy winner. Of course, Ty Detmer, another one on the field.
Favre brings him out on 1st and 10 from the Houston 40. And they'll whistle this one dead as Alm has Favre around the shoulder pad.
Either Joe Sims or Ron Hallstrom, the right guard or right tackle, just got up a little bit early on that one. It's going to be 5 against the pack.
Five-yard penalty. It remains first down.
That's the first penalty on Green Bay since the opening kickoff. And that is the way they are coached by Mike Holmgren, who, as you put it, is intolerant of mistakes.
It's not a question of not liking him. He just is intolerant of him. And he's really instilled. This team is so young. He said they're overachievers, but the good thing is they don't know it yet.
Ask other coaches around the league who has done a brilliant coaching job this year. They'll tell you Mike Holmgren. Thompson for 3. Well, we've already had some great college basketball games on ESPN. We have some more coming your way. A smorgasbord on Saturday. Number 9 Louisville against number 17 Georgia Tech. That's a 12:30 start. Then at 3, 13th ranked UCLA takes on Georgia. Number 19 Cincinnati. The Bearcats will go up against Bobby Knight in Indiana, the 4th ranked team in the country. If you're not done by then, at 7:30 Iowa State against number 6 Michigan. And then at 9:30 Ohio State visits West Virginia. Now we'll all get bleary-eyed together on Saturday. 2nd and 13. Complete to the sideline. First down, Lewis down to the 22-yard line. I think it was Dishman who nearly had the pick.
Chris Dishman, I mean, they will jump routes. Both corners will overplay the patterns. Jerry Gray and Chris Dishman. This one here, he just gets there a shade late, but that gives you an indication of Favre's arm. I mean, he sets and fires this thing. Dishman, a fingernail. He got a fingernail on it, or a little piece of the glove. That's all he could get on it. That thing just zinged right by.
And this drive is doing more than possibly set up another scoring opportunity. It's taken a lot of time off the clock.
Not only that, Mike Holmgren wanted to shorten this game, and the 45-second clock is down to 4.
6:06 on the game clock. Thompson ran into his own man, struggled forward inside the 20 to maybe the 19-yard line. Lee Williams made the stop.
Mike Holmgren, when we talked to him, said, because of the potency of that Houston offense, we want to shorten this game. And by that, he's going to take his time getting the plays in. Now, it's 45 seconds as soon as the play is over. That's when they start the clock. Now, you can see in the lower left-hand side of your screen. Normally, Favre has got the play. He could step into the huddle anytime, make the call. You don't want to ruin the pace of the offense, but you want to bleed that clock and keep on bleeding it. It's right in front of him. You see him taking his time at the line of scrimmage.
Second and 8. Thompson on the sweep. Blockers in front. First down. And that looked like 1966, didn't it?
The old Green Bay sweep. Jim Taylor leading Paul Hornung around the corner. Jerry Kramer out front throwing a block. Oh my goodness, we're back.
Well, it wasn't those Hall of Famers, but they got it done.
We talked about Thompson not necessarily running very well to his laterally, but here he does a nice job of setting it up. Frank Winter leading the way. Does a good job of pushing it out. Thompson picking up the first down.
The clock down to 4:51. First and 10, Green Bay at the Houston 11-yard line. Packers have taken 5:30 off the clock on this drive. Thompson gets to the 9. Green Bay came into this game number 2 in the NFL in time of possession. And look what they've done to Houston. 31 minutes and counting. And when you can keep it and move it, you're doing something.
Well, if you're going to draw up a game plan as a coach, which Mike did, this was the main thing he tried to drive home to his ball club, particularly to his quarterback, because Favre was the one in control. Bleed that clock, keep an eye on it, and keep the pace of the game going for us on offense as well.
We're under 4 minutes. Thompson again. Near the 5. Well, what an impressive drive by the Packers. If they do get a field goal out of this drive, they would only be up 12-7. Houston has used a timeout here with 3:38 to go. The Green Bay would love to have the touchdown and force Houston to score twice. .338 left from the Astrodome. Green Bay by 2. Both of these teams came into tonight's game with a chance to get within 1 game of the lead in their respective divisions, and it's still on the line.
I want to point it out here now. In the 5-minute mark of the 4th quarter, you go back to the old rules of stopping the clock. So if there's an incompletion, Green Bay would have to kick the field goal, but the Oilers would have plenty of time on the clock.
3rd and 5. Favre for Sharpe. Touchdown. It was the pump fake that beat Chris Dishman.
You know what it was? That's one thing, Mike, but also this ball is not thrown perfectly. This ball is actually thrown behind Chris Dishman. Chris Dishman has this thing defensed, but Favre throws it behind Dishman. See? Look, it's behind him. He's got it defensed up the field where he anticipated it to be. Little quick fake inside. Now, Chris is looking. He knows, but he throws it behind him. Sterling makes the adjustment.
Chris Jackie for the point after knocks it through. And the Green Bay Packers have taken a 16-7 lead in the Dome.
Thursday night, one of the most dangerous scorers in the game today. Brett Hull powers the Blues against Mark Messier and the Rangers. The Blues face the Rangers Thursday night at 8:30 Eastern, live on ESPN National Hockey Night.
3:33 left in the ballgame. Green Bay leading Houston now 16-7. If Houston loses this ballgame, they'll be dancing in the street in Pittsburgh because the Steelers will clinch the division, and Brett Favre on the phone upstairs. Chris Jackie set to kick it away. Coleman at the 4. Back to the 22, and the Oilers need a touchdown and a field goal. A precision drive for the Green Bay Packers, who are number 2 in the NFL in time of possession. 6 minutes and 30 seconds on that drive, 63 yards. They were superb, and Sterling Sharpe got the score. And it's turnovers. How often do coaches say it's all turnovers?
It's what it is. I mean, that's what this game boils down to. If you don't give the opponent the football and make him beat you, you've got a whole lot better chance of winning.
Cody Carlson has brought Houston from behind before, particularly in the game against the Lions on Thanksgiving Day, a drive that may have saved their season, but he needs 2 scores here. Jeffries at the sideline, stepped across to get the first down and got out of bounds.
Now think along with me. If Houston, I know it's hard, but I'm going to try and present you. If Houston can get a score, any kind of score, before the 2-minute mark, they get within striking distance of winning at 17-16 with a touchdown. They'd have 2 timeouts left, plus the 2-minute warning. That's something to think about if you're an Oiler fan and you're on offense. Defensively, the Packers, they've got to make them eat up the clock somehow and burn some of those timeouts.
Play clock already down to 10, and some confusion on the Houston sideline, and they have to use one of their timeouts to avoid a 5-yard penalty. Boy, does that hurt.
It can't happen.
And that's about as much emotion as you'll see out of Jack Pardee.
You know something? I'll tell you what I might have done. He lost his chin strap, but it doesn't. I'd have taken the 5 yards. Because right now, distance is not that important.
You're right.
I've got the ball at the 35, so I go back to the 30. So what? What's more important to me is a timeout, not whether or not I got my chin strap or whether or not I can use it. I mean, timeouts you can't get back. Yards you can.
Great point, because that down the road, if they score, will cost them 45 seconds by not being able to stop the clock.
Party's over in that case. Lee Williams on your right, William Fuller on your left. Those men have played their hearts out tonight. The Houston Oilers defense, unbelievable. See, Cody Carlson's actually holding his chin strap on. Now it drops down. He still makes a completion with his chin strap flapping, so do it again. Whatever the confusion was, it wasn't worth it. It still doesn't work.
Instead, they're down to 1 timeout, 3 minutes, 18 seconds to go in the game, and they need 2 scores. Deep sideline, Jeffries went up after it, looked like he was out of bounds.
Oh,
no, they rule it a catch.
What a great catch. Oh, my goodness.
In between 2 defenders.
This is sensational. He's a one-man highlight film. Right part of your screen. Watch this. He's got somebody in front of him, somebody in back of him, catches it. He's been beat up, been lying on the field for 4 hours, or 4 minutes, and it seemed like 4 hours to him, I'm sure, for 4 minutes before the half.
What a great catch by Jeffries, and presence of mind to get the feet down. Carlson for Duncan, he got it at the 10. Holy cow! Gain of 36.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to get up and just ground it. Right? The clock is your friend. Downs you're going to use anyway. You're going to need 2 scores. You got to stop the clock somehow.
Down to 2:42. Throw it over the middle, short, complete, but they're not going to be able to stop the clock as Slaughter gained maybe 2. And now they do it.
I get so frustrated sometimes. You got to think these things out. Yeah, and I will say, Cody hasn't been in this situation a lot. In his defense, but you got to play this thing out in your mind. When you're standing on the sidelines, you got to say, what are my options? What am I going to do? Give me a chance to do this. He does a great job, a great catch by Haywood Jeffries. Terrific throw here. And this one to Curtis Duncan. He looks the safety off, fires it in. Duncan just extends to make the catch. Now you get up. You got 2:50 left. Here's where you down it. You got 3 downs to finish.
Carlson trying to run for it to the 2. He's about a yard shy of a first down, and this will be 4th.
He's got to get him lined up, and he's got to make a decision quick. Or let it go to 2 minutes. Take your time, Cody. Good idea. Would you call a timeout?
The clock stopped with 2:02.
Somebody called the timeout, and I doubt if it was the Green Bay Packers.
And now they'll run it down to 2 minutes as nobody did take the timeout. So the Oilers, when we come back, 4th and 1 from the 2. 16-7 with 2 minutes to go. The Oilers, 4th and 1 from the Packer 2-yard line. The Oilers, by using the timeout on this drive, when they didn't need to, have put themselves in a situation that even if they score here, they've only got 1 timeout left. And if they don't recover an onside kick, Green Bay can run out the clock.
You know what the call is here in my mind? Lorenzo White. You got him spread out, pop him through a crease, let him get in the end zone.
Option to White. Touchdown.
Put the ball in the hands of the runner. Low White, he can smell it. I mean, he's having a great year. He's not going to be denied. They call an option. Great execution by Cody Carlson. Just a great piece of execution.
And now it will be up to the defense. More specifically, it will be up to special teams.
Yeah, but if the defense, it's not stopping them. It's trying to strip them. Get the football on the ground so you got a shot at it.
Del Greco for the point after that would make it a 2-point game. And it's 16-14.
Coming right at you, a reverse angle. Cody Carlson on the option does a good job of reading. While Low White is just not going to be from 4 yards out. There's the ball. That's all it has to cross the line.
Oh.
It's all that matters. Great effort. This one's from the back end. What great power. What a year he's having. On his way to the Pro Bowl. Gee whiz. I mean, you talk about the Pro Bowl backs too, Mike. Obviously, Thurman.
Richard Smith, the special teams coach. How are the Oilers on onside kicks? They've only tried 1, and they did not recover. 1. And, of course, on the other side, the special teams coach for the Packers, Nolan Cromwell. With only 1 timeout left, if the Packers recover, they can run out the clock without having to punt.
Now we'll take it to the next step. Let's say they don't recover, okay? You don't afford a handoff. I believe you. There's only one exchange that should be made from the center to the quarterback.
Right.
Kneel down. Kneel down. That's all you have to do.
So we told you 0 for 1. Packers have 10 and now an 11th man walking up to 10 yards within the line that it has to reach, which is the 45, and Del Greco will need the magic this time.
Cody Carlson, this half, is 11 for 13, 178 yards.
Sterling Sharpe on the hands team with 92 catches. Why not?
The hands team, that's what they are. That's what they are, the hands unit.
Big bounce, they got a chance. It looked like Robertson had a chance to get it in his hands, and he didn't come up with it. Sanjay Beach, the backup wide receiver, caught it. I thought Robertson had a bead on it.
That was a perfectly kicked ball by Delco. Watch this. It runs along. Now watch it take the high hop right there. It goes up. They've got a shot at it. I mean, he actually did. But Beach does a better job of getting it away from him.
Sanjay Beach took it away.
Watch. 3 guys are going to be blockers. There, you see him create the movement. They knock the receivers away and allow the trailer to try and make a play on the ball.
Huge play by Sanjay Beach that could give the Packers their 5th win in a row. It hasn't happened since 1966 when they went and won Super Bowl I.
These are all kneel downs.
Houston with one timeout. They'll give it to Harry Sidney. Alm trying to strip the ball, can't do it. There's the last timeout with 1:50 to go.
All right, so here it's going to be 1:50. You're going to go to 45.
It's down to 105.
Then you're down to 105, then you're down to 15 seconds.
Sterling Sharpe came in chasing Art Monk's single-season record of 106 catches. He has 94 right now, 12 behind Art Monk, leading the NFL in catches and yards. He's just had an exceptional season. Following our telecast, Sports Center, Keith Olbermann and Bill Patrick standing by. They'll catch you up on everything, including that wild finish, the Redskins and the Cowboys. Also the 49ers and the Vikings, a battle for first place, and a conversation with Michael Irvin. That will be followed by Prime Time. Hope you'll stay with us. Some great highlights. Part of the offensive Oilers offensive line, Dave Williams, just hoping for a miracle right now. Houston can no longer stop the clock.
They keep handing off. A miracle could happen for the Oilers.
Thompson wisely cuts it back inside. Did not want to go out of bounds and give them a free one that could leave them in the ball game. And Houston powerless right now.
Mike Holmgren accomplished a few things tonight. He got his ball club in a night game for the first time. It was a slim, close game. It was a defensive game where his young quarterback had to make some plays, and he did. And he proved that no matter what you try and do to Sterling Sharpe, he's still going to get him the football.
Mike Holmgren said one of the reasons he was so excited, his mother in a wheelchair in California had not seen him on television, so he had to get a haircut and look sharp. There's Bruce Matthews on the sideline. We're down to 106. Sidney straight up the middle. This will be 4th and about 9 from the 46. 54 seconds on the clock.
Key play in the game's got to be the exchange between Cody Carlson and Bruce Matthews. Snap comes up. Ball just gets away from Cody. I mean, Bruce, normally you see an exchange problem when a center has to step hard left or right for a cutoff block. That case, it looked like the ball got up. Somehow or other, they misconnected.
There is an 11-second difference between the play clock and the game clock. See if the Packers take the 5-yard penalty, then they would have about 12 seconds to go in the game. And do you run a play or do you punt?
Punt it.
Green Bay calls a timeout with 12 seconds left. And you better believe Houston will have the punt block on. It's their last shot.
Well, number one, it's their last shot. And remember, you have to almost decapitate the kicker to get a roughing the kicker. What you get is a running into the kicker penalty. It's a 5-yard penalty and not an automatic first down.
Bubba McDowell had a great college career with 9 blocks. Dumas holds the school record at Indiana for punt blocks, so they've got some guys with history on their side. The clock will start on the snap. Nobody back. 11 men on the line of scrimmage. And the only job Wagner has is to kick it anywhere. This is the ball game. And Wagner did his job. Clock running down to 5 seconds, and the ball may die at the 1. They're able to get it down there with 1 second. Time has expired. Is that it?
Yep.
That's it, and Mike Holmgren has won a huge game for the Green Bay Packers. They will go to 8-6. An amazing night, and it leaves Houston in the thick of the wild card race, but the Pittsburgh Steelers win the AFC Central. Our final score from the Dome, the Green Bay Packers 16, the Houston Oilers 14. For Joe Theismann and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Houston. SportsCenter is next after this.